in-law said something to me today too. They live just a couple houses down, so I thought, okay, it's not just us.
Hey, we're done. We're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got a letter in the mail today.
Oh, jeez. Ridiculous. Yeah, no problem.
Ready?
Yep.
We'll call the meeting to order. Nikki, please note the roll. Is there any public comment?
Any emails received either?
No, ma'am. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda items. First is going to be the minutes of the regular meeting of the Board of Directors held on January 11th of 2022. Also, the special meeting of the Board of Directors held on January 17th of 2022. Also, the departmental reports for the Board of Public Utilities operation reports and the financial statements for December of 2021. Also, the bills and accounts for period ending January 31st of 2022. And also the power supply cost projections. Is there anything we need to discuss or any questions on anything?
The correction on page 4, please, where it said November, I meant December. So that's just correct. I have corrected that.
Seeing none, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Got a motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Moving on to the regular agenda. First on the agenda is going to be the WRRF capital improvements.
Yeah, so I'll have Brian step up as well, so if there's any questions. At the end of the last meeting, we talked with Donahue and Associates that kind of brought out, here's our plans for the wastewater treatment plant. What this proposal does is it kind of sets in motion that first phase, which they're going to be looking at, hey, where do we want to put the, I'm drawing a rank blank. UV, thank you. I was going to call fluorescent tubes. And I knew that was not the right word. So between that, we got to figure out the administration building and also some of the other projects that's ongoing. This just sets that in motion. So Brian, anything else to add?
Nope, the plan to do the plan, basically.
Okay. And I just didn't feel if there was questions that we should just approve it that night without giving you guys any chance to even ponder it. So again, was there any questions regarding the wastewater treatment plant process or the plans that you guys had? Because again, it's big dollars. It just is, and there's no two ways about it. Again, just anything that you guys have. If not, we just ask that you approve Donahue. Again, this isn't something that we bid out. Donahue, we usually, especially on something like this nature, but again, we do try to beat them up on price. So that's where we are.
This is just for the engineering side.
This is to start the kind of phase 1, technically phase 2 engineering.
Yeah, so they'll get the plan in place to move on to, let's say their next step is the UV. They'll have that plan all set up, so when we go into the real design phase of it, they'll have all the data and everything they need to do the real design to do the UV. Otherwise, it takes longer and longer to get all this done.
What's the budget for Donahue for doing the plan?
147, not to exceed 147. Something I didn't bring. I had it. I left it.
I got it here.
146,650.
Yeah, right there. And that is, we paid them $70,000 ballpark to do the initial, what do we need, where are our assessments? So this is just continuing down that path.
Any other questions for Brian or Jeff?
No.
Seeing none, we need a motion on which way we want to go with this.
I'll move to do the stated amount to Donahue.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Thanks, Brian, appreciate it. Next on the agenda is the Sexton Farms lease agreement.
Yes, thank you. What is in front of you is kind of on screen. Our farm leases are up. So these are the 2 properties that are under the purview of the board. So wanted to bring those to you. I don't know if it's on the screen. So this is the Newton Road. This is the Balsky Farm. This is south of Clemens to kind of get you an area. So Clemens is to the north. And then it is this area here that they actually farm. So currently we are at, put my glasses back on. It was a rolling average of $150. This is a 5-year lease for $150 per farmable acre on the Zabalski farm. Then also this is the Willowbrook. Again, we've sold off some of this property. This is the water tower down here, so you can kind of get your bearings. Same thing here. This is currently at $120 an acre, so we're looking at doing $150 an acre. Again, with Sexton, the major thing why we want to stay with them is we do have our agreement with them to handle our biosolids from the wastewater treatment plant. So that's what it is. So it's up to you guys if you want to approve them. Technically, then they will have to go to city council. We're doing a bunch of leases all at the same time. Megan, do you have anything else to add?
I would just say the price per acre is 155.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Also, I put my glasses on.
This is a 6-year lease?
Pardon me?
6-year lease?
5.
5 years.
And if something happens where we want to use this land for something else before 5 years, can we get out of this?
Yes, we can withdraw the land that we want to use.
We just have to pay him for any crop damage, or if he has any inputs in the land, then it gets a little convoluted.
Any other questions? What is the desire of the board?
I motion that we go ahead and approve the Sexton Farms lease agreement for the next 5 years at
Support.
$155 an acre.
Okay,
Support.
got a motion to support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion passes. Next on the agenda is the utility director employment agreement.
I'm gonna turn this one right over to Megan since I was not involved in this, so.
Right. Well, President Stevens, Ms. Luce and I worked on this over the past 2 weeks or so since our last meeting. And we've come to the terms that you see here in the agreement with Paul. He's agreed with these terms. Now, your action here could be to approve this or to change it. I mean, it's not set in stone by any means, but we felt that these terms were fair under the circumstances in particular that he's going to relocate from such a great distance. So there are things in there that, were never included in some of the other contracts we did, but, the circumstances are different. So I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
I thought it looked pretty fair and reasonable for sure.
I think it looks good to me. Okay, do we need a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Got a motion and a second? Gotta do a roll call vote, Nikki?
I don't think so.
Do we need to do it? Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. It's passed.
Pat joining us remotely or
He's just listening on YouTube, but who did you say, Pat?
Pat?
Oh, Pat, I thought you said Paul, I'm sorry.
Here he
Pat's
is.
up
I see him moving things.
Pat is
Taking
here.
over.
All right.
He's just in the
Paul.
back, he's running the show.
Pay no attention to that man behind the.
Oh, look at this, it's so cool.
Isn't he fancy?
He is, I wish I knew how to do this.
I can show you how to do it. Aspen Wireless report.
Too late.
So
Will we remember
February
them?
2022, we're supposed to be finishing up this month. We are not going to quite get there, but we are doing pretty well. We released 2 nodes last month, 7 and 13. And then the next 2 nodes that are really in some sort of qualification are 10 and 4. Those will be coming on real soon. And then after that, it's node 2 and 15 we expect to be the next 2. 16 and 17 were added on later. So that's kind of why we extended, part of the reason we extended, but obviously with all the COVID and stuff like that, we've had trouble. Recently, more so with contact tracing than anything else. We've had a lot of splicers out. They work in teams. As soon as somebody tests positive, then the whole team's gone. So that's been kind of a bit of a struggle. As you can see, we added 72 customers last month. Our goal is to get to 100. So we're still moving in that direction. I think we're capable of doing it. But our guys that are doing the QC, that takes quite a bit of time there. So we'll pretty much pick up a full-time team once construction is complete. Is there anything else on here I wanted to mention? I don't think so. The budget still looks nice and strong. We've got the project management. As I said, this was the last month, so we paid that full bill. Jeff has approved them to go on for another 2 months. So that's $15,000 a month, so there'll be an extra $30,000 that'll come on. But as you can see, we still have a pretty decent budget surplus. We're pretty caught up on bills right at the moment. But, you know, obviously there'll be some more outstanding stuff coming in. And then for the last mile stuff, we're doing fine there as well. There is a little problem with supply chain stuff on some of this. We're hoping that Bob's doing a really good job of trying to stay ahead of it. But it could come and bite us. We're good for 6 months at least. But going into the future, you know, the crystal ball gets a little fuzzier and fuzzier as we go. So, and I think that's all I have for you this month. I don't know if you have any questions, concerns, comments.
One of the things you'll notice in the operating reports is that we actually are 200 more customers now than we were last year. Actually, we're positive customers. That hasn't happened in a very long time. So that's just, you know, if you look at just internet customers. So again, kudos to Pat, Jody, and the rest of the crew.
The team.
The team. They've really done a great job. You know, we're 1/3 of the way to our 1,200, which some of these people get a steak dinner from me, and I will still pay up. So even after my time, they are anxiously awaiting that. And so am I. So.
And I haven't been to the Grand Corral or whatever that's called, Golden Corral.
Golden Corral. You'll really like it. It's really good. Yeah.
It's pretty high-end.
It's high-end for me.
So
Quantity over quality every day.
There you go.
So how's the damage from the storm in August working through with that?
Well, that's pretty much all cleaned up. We
Okay.
do have a couple of MSTs that need to be replaced that haven't been yet, it just didn't get identified during that time. But everything what we knew about going up to that time is pretty much restored at this point. So, yeah.
McDonald's is coming out with the McRib too, so that'd be just a little opposite. If they want a different change for steak, I'd give them ribs too. So either way. So.
Okay, thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.
Great.
Next, is there any public comment? This is not live on YouTube for responses, right?
Yeah, no, they can't. They have to be here to participate. So
Okay.
there's nothing, sorry.
But hold on 1 second. Megan would like to read.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In communication with Paul this afternoon, he provided us with a response to your affirmative vote on his contract, should that have happened, and it did. So I'm going to read this aloud. Coldwater Board of Public Utilities, staff, and citizens, I am honored to have been selected by the CBPU board as the next utility director. I'm looking forward to building on the previous successes of the utility and finding new ways to assist in the continued growth of the city of Coldwater. My wife and I are looking forward to becoming part of the Coldwater community, and I want to thank the CBPU board and staff for having confidence in my ability to lead the utility into the future.
Appreciate that.
Nice.
Next on the agenda is new business. Turn over to you, Jeff.
Yes, so first of all, I do want to, I'm a little remiss, I do want to announce that Brian Mussman has been named the Assistant Utility Director interimly, at least for now. I'll let Paul decide whether he leaves or takes that tag off. So again, kudos to Brian. It really was brought on by Jim O'Neill's leaving. So we needed some management down in some different areas. So Brian has stepped up to do that. So again, as many others could have done the job as well. So again, but just want to announce that. Zipping through the director's report, and we'll get out of here before it snows anymore. The power cost adjustment was 0 for January. It was a low power month. The Willowbrook Apartments, we're continuing to John has been working feverishly on trying to find transformers. These transformers aren't cheap. So we originally had transformers that were almost $40,000. I think John got them down to $15,000 to $16,000.
A couple for 12,000 and
For 16. So kudos to John. The lead times are still quite long. So again, these things, it's just an indication of the times that lead times, as Pat mentioned, for telecom stuff, we're not immune to it in the electric industry. So if you're wanting to do business in Coldwater, we might not be able to serve if there's any kind of, these are things we normally have on stock anyway. So again, that just kind of shows you the sign of times that we're in. Again, big thanks to the electric department. They had built their own, there's actually 4 guys in that. So I'm not sure how those 4 guys, especially knowing one of them, got into that. I'll be named nameless, but they all fit in that and shot down the hill. So again, just want to thank them for participating, and they received the most spectacular award. And with that, I think we just got to thank you from the Branch County Habitat for Humanity. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions you have.
So I guess, how does it work with you? You're here until, are you,
I am still here till March. I'll be here at the next meeting. I think his proposed start date was March 7th.
okay.
So which time I will be here. One thing I really probably should bring up though, at some point, would like to either have a agreement and set place, and I don't need anything fancy, but just something that if I'm doing more, because I'm going to be quickly running out of all the time I've been having.
Yes.
So, and personally, I would have preferred to taking this all tax-free in the healthcare savings plan, but it's not working out that way, which is fine. But I think that once that runs out, just hourly rate, and again, I'm not doing nickel and dime stuff, but
Okay.
if I have to spend significant time, just pay me my same hourly rate.
Okay.
That's fine. That's no problem.
And that's all I have. But yeah, things are
What's your
still going
favorite
well.
color?
Nikki's still running the show, so Nikki's doing a great job. So anyway, Nikki and Megan and carrying on. So, and that's one of the other things is putting Brian. So if there's any other things that I become the bottleneck for, trying to push some things out to him. So I'm wrapping some of those things up. Any other questions? That's all I have.
Okay. The day of the next meeting, Nikki?
March 2nd.
Anything else before we close the meeting?
I think so.
Seeing none, we're adjourned.
Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Drive safe.
Yeah, I'll get my